Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. This is to make the case for causeless mercy. What actually is causeless mercy? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, what does that mean, causeless mercy? What does that mean? Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. I just was remembering the famous mantra that is recited at formal initiation ceremonies, where devotees take vows to practice in the Vaidhi system, certain vows. And it's purified or unpurified. One who remembers the lotus-eyed Lord automatically becomes purified, internally and externally. And in the purport, Prabhupada explains how that whatever one's condition is, externally or internally, if they're contaminated, simply by remembering the lotus-eyed Lord, they become pure. They become pure. Hare Krishna. So to try to become pure first is really not the causeless mercy way to do it. Causeless mercy is just to accept the causeless mercy of the Lord through his representative. And that's what we get through Gaur Hari Das, is this causeless mercy, whether purified or unpurified, simply by accepting the causeless mercy coming through this devotee of the Lord, then you're purified, internally or externally. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. To try to get purified first, oh boy, Hare Krishna. No, doesn't work. Doesn't work. Now, to arrange life in such a way that you're not so disturbed all the time, and to give up certain activities that could be causing disturbances, that's a good idea. That's helpful. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram. But purified or unpurified, disturbed or not disturbed, one who remembers the lotus-eyed Lord automatically becomes purified, both internally and externally. That's the mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. So then I was thinking, just really take a look at it. Why does the Sankirtan go out in the street and chant the holy name with drums and cymbals or different kinds of music, just to people in general? Why do they do that? This causeless mercy. It's just for anyone and everyone. Just give them the holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Give them Krishna. It's causeless mercy. What are their qualifications? Just people in the world. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. It's powerful stuff. And the same with the books. I remember when the books were being published, as soon as a book was available, it had just been edited and proofread and everything and sent to the printer. The printer was in Japan. And when the books would come back by the caseloads, then we would run through the streets with them. And we were running through the streets with Chaitanya Charitamrita in 1974. We were running through the streets with Adi Leela. Come on. That isn't causeless mercy, you know? I mean, what qualifications does whoever it is out there have to get a Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela chapter 5? But that's the causeless mercy. And if they're not supposed to have the books, why was Prabhupada so delighted to see them getting them? Krishna. Because they might read them and become Krishna conscious, are attracted to Krishna. And then, Krishna sends help in different ways. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. I mean, these are sacred texts, maybe we should put them in special locked cabinets or something underground where no one can get to them, that might, no, they're running through the streets. Hey, excuse me, I got something for you. Here's a Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela 5, just what you always wanted. Make your life perfect. Here, read this book. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. This is causeless mercy. You don't have to earn it. What did those people do to earn that opportunity to get a Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 5 Part 2? I mean, what did they do? What is the qualification? What austerities did they do? What, charities did they give? And who knows? Probably nothing. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare. This movement is a movement of causeless mercy. Purified or unpurified, one who remembers the lotus-eyed Lord. And I found my position. I know what my position is now. It's the bottom of the barrel. It's the position. I know my position is the bottom of the barrel. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. But I'm not the only one there. There's a lot of us in the bottom of the barrel. That's my position. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. I was thinking about, this is, I don't know, when I think about this sometimes, the last shall be first. Jesus saying, the last shall be first. And I always used to remember that in the subway, like when I was in Boston. I had to take the subways sometimes. And, the train would start to come into the station and everybody would crowd, to get to where the little doors opened, and they'd be pushing everybody in the cars. And, the cars were always very crowded. You couldn't move, in the subways, rush hour. And so they'd all be pushing and shoving and everything to try and get in first so they could get on and I'd be in the back. I just, forget it, I'm not going to do this. So I'd be the last. And they'd all squeeze and squash to get in the car. The car would go. And then another train would come in a few minutes and I'd be the first one. So I used to laugh about that. And the last shall be first. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Oh God. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. So that's my position. The last one. Whenever I'm always like the last one, or I'm the bottom of the bed. I don't need the last one, but I shall be first in the kingdom. Hare Krishna. So we got another train coming through. Go Haridas, he's got another train coming in. Everybody's pushing and shoving to get on the Prabhupada train, pushing and shoving, and I was like way in the back somewhere. I was thinking about it, I was there, in the rooms, in the temple room. I heard everything, but I was like, I wasn't like very significant. I mean, there were like flies and mosquitoes in the room too. I mean, they all heard, they got something out of the mercy because this is a pure devotee of the Lord, There's probably a few rodents behind the woodwork, you know. So that's kind of like, more like in that category, you know. So, everybody jumped on that train, you know, they're all on that train. They're pushing and shoving to get on that train. And I'm like in the back, you know, and I'm like, well, I'll just have to wait for another train because I can't do that. And now here comes another train in the station. She's going right us. It's like, wow. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Oh man, I'm so crazy. It's pathetic. It really is. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. How is it that I'm able to even chant Hare Krishna? How is it I'm able to even be attracted to hear anything about Krishna? How is it? How? It's causeless mercy. That's all it is. It's just causeless mercy. Oh, yeah. Like, those people that got, you know, like, we would run through the airports, like, before they were worried about, you know, hijackers and stuff. There was no security checks, really, in the airports. You just walked in, you know, it wasn't a big deal. In the 70s. And, you know, devotees were all over the airports, you know, because people were traveling. They had money, so it was a good place to distribute books. And then, you know, they'd sit on the plane and they'd read the book. That was the idea. So, like I was saying, what qualifications did those people have walking through that airport like that? That somebody come up to them with Krishna, sacred text, the deepest knowledge, realized knowledge ever, and just handing them out. Here you go. Excuse me. I got something for you. Here's a book. You know, read this. You going on the plane? Okay, something to read. Actually, most of those people, a lot of them would just throw the books in the trash. So what was their qualification to even be able to touch the book, right? What was their qualification? I mean, a lot of people just throw them in the trash. And then the janitors would come, and I was thinking about that. I wrote a little thing. Like the monkeys in Vrindavan, you know, if they find something valuable, they'll approach a shopkeeper to do some trade, you know. So the janitors in the airport were like that. They'd pull the books out of the trash, and they'd bring them, you know, big bags full to the devotees, and the devotees would buy them back, like, you know, $1 a book, you know. But what qualifications does anybody have? Nobody has any qualification. None. Because it's just causeless mercy. And that mantra at initiation, purified or unpurified, it's a formal ceremony. Purified or unpurified, whether it's initiation or not, the mantra is there. Purified or unpurified, one who remembers the lotus-eyed Lord automatically becomes purified, both internally and externally. Krishna, so this is the kind of preaching Gohari Das is doing, and just giving it out freely to anybody and everybody. And that's causeless mercy. Causeless mercy. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, which is the mood of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, is this causeless mercy. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. And it's a good thing too, because, bottom of the barrel here. I mean, Hare Krishna. Oh God. I was just thinking back a little bit, you know, about, you know, things I've done in my life. Oh my God. I shouldn't be alive. Or I should have some terrible diseases or something. I shouldn't be. I don't know. Oh my God, what a weird life. Oh, Krishna. This craziest of the crazy here. Seriously. Even my parents, you know, they recognized the miracle of Krishna consciousness, and specifically at the time, Srila Prabhupada, they said to me, they took me aside and they said, you know, this man, this teacher, he's done a miracle for you, because no one could help you. We couldn't help you. Your teachers couldn't help you. Your spiritual leaders in the conventional religions, they couldn't help you. Psychiatrists couldn't help you. We didn't know what to do. No one could help you. We knew you needed help. But this man, he helped. He's done a miracle. So we have all respect for him. He's done a miracle. Krishna. Yeah, that's the power of the pure devotee. They do miracles like that. There's... So, I get twice miracles. I get that miracle, and now also I get this one. I get a double scoop. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. I got a double scoop. Oh, shoo. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Yeah. The last shall be first. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Wow. So, it's the night before Christmas, and all through the house. Not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. I find it disturbing, actually, although I'm not surprised. It is Kali Yuga. But usually when you go in the stores, for like the 3 or 4 weeks before Christmas, sometimes even sooner, you hear all those beautiful devotional carols, Silent night, holy night, and, playing over the music thing they have going in the stores. Or We Three Kings of Orient are, or, all the traditional, beautiful, devotional songs. Deck the halls with boughs of holly, da 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 da. I tell you, for the last 3 weeks, and I've been in and out of stores, I haven't heard one Christmas carol. I feel so disappointed. Usually, I hear them so much, I'm like, it's enough already with the Christmas carols, But I didn't even hear one this year. I heard Christmas-related songs like Kissing Santa Under the Christmas Tree, and I heard another one that I couldn't make out the lyrics, but it was something about Santa Claus in a bathing suit. I'm like, wow, this Kali Yuga, phew, I didn't hear one of those beautiful devotional songs. Not one this year. I'm so disappointed. Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. But it is Kali Yuga. So, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram. I'm just remembering, as a child, don't hold it against me. I grew up in a Jewish family. But I loved Jesus from the very beginning, let me tell you. My family had to just tolerate me because, anyway. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. So anybody that loved God like he did was okay in my book, okay? And that didn't really fly in the Jewish family all that well, but they just sort of tolerated it. But they were a good family. They were spiritual. My family was actually very spiritual. They just grew in that culture. They're actually very spiritual people. They're really, really wonderful. I had a good family. But I remember one year, like maybe 6 or 7 years old, about these beautiful Christmas carols. My mother and father rounded up the children in the neighborhood and took everybody out door to door singing Christmas carols. I mean, that's pretty funny, It's like, that's the kind of family they were. Spiritual. They went by the heart, Hare Krishna. It's pretty, but I didn't hear one Christmas carol this year. Really disappointed. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram. I feel sad for the world, actually, with those beautiful songs. Now they're doing these other things. Santa Claus in a bathing suit, come on. You can have that all year long. Let's get a little, glorification going of the appearance of Jesus, even though nobody really knows when his birthday is. Still, this is the traditional time to celebrate Hare Krishna. Along with the rebirth of the sun, it's all connected, solstice, winter solstice, and then, the appearance of, anyway, Hare Krishna. What would, they give for the kinds of exact documentation that the Vaishnavas have, the exact appearance day, astrologically, of Krishna, of Lord Chaitanya, of the different acharyas, of the great teachers. I mean, exact, documented, astrologically, and the actual literatures, I mean, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. What wouldn't a Christian give for, something original? A strand of hair from Jesus, or a shoe, a sandal, anything, and look what, the Vaishnavas have. So much documented the appearance of Prabhupada, everything on video and camera, and, it's all there. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. And now we have this wonderful devotee, Srila Gaura Haridas, with thousands and thousands of hours of preaching, all documented, and writings. Gaura Hari is a good writer. I mean, he's a wonderful, he can write. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. That's just some reflections on Christmas Eve, when not a creature is stirring, not even a mouse. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare. Well, I was going to read a little something. Probably qualities of Krishna. That's easy because it's not real philosophical and it's getting late. And I don't like to do heavy philosophical stuff. So this is just some nice light reading about the qualities of Krishna that he manifested when he advented as Krishna, which is who Lord Chaitanya is feeling separation from, this Krishna, okay? This is who Lord Chaitanya is feeling separation from, the qualities of that person. Hare Krishna, nice. Okay. Jai Srila Prabhupada, Hare Krishna, Jai Srila Gaura Haridas, Jai all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. Hare Krishna. So, there's a quality here, it's number 49, that Krishna is all honorable. A person who is chief among all important persons is called all honorable. When Krishna was living at Dwarka, demigods like Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, Indra, the king of heaven, and many others used to come to visit him. The doorkeeper, who had to manage the entrance of all these demigods, one very busy day said, "My dear Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, please sit down on this bench and wait. My dear Indra, please desist from reading your prayers. This is creating a disturbance. Please wait silently. My dear Varuna, please go away. And my dear demigods, do not waste your time uselessly. Krishna is very busy. He cannot see you." Okay, so that was an example of all honorable, which is a person who is chief among all important persons. Number 50, Supreme Controller. Janaki, Meena, I'm there at the bottom also. Krishna, Jai. Whew. Even a blind squirrel gets it. We chanted Christmas beats on Sadhu Sangha. Oh, okay. Yeah, Jan also. Jan, he did a real nice little Christmas kirtan. It was real good. Hey, Haribo, Carolyn. Ho, ho, ho. Hari, hari, hari. Bo, bo, bo. Yeah. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare. Bo, Lita. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare. Okay. Krishna. Krishna. Supreme Controller. Okay, so these are the qualities of Krishna, and Lord Chaitanya is feeling separation from the person who has these qualities. There are two kinds of controllers or lords. One who is independent is called controller, and one whose orders cannot be neglected by anyone is called controller. Okay, so someone who's independent is a controller, and someone whose orders cannot be neglected by anyone is also a controller. Independent is a controller. Regarding Krishna's complete independence and lordship, Srimad Bhagavatam says that although Kaliya was a great offender, Krishna still favored him by marking his head with his lotus feet, whereas Lord Brahma, although having prayed to Krishna with so many wonderful verses, could still not attract him. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. He's independent. Like you would think, the Lord Brahma, offering so many wonderful prayers, would get the mercy, but he didn't. But Kaliya, who was a big offender, Krishna favored him by putting his feet on his head. So Krishna is completely independent. He does what he will. This contradictory treatment by Krishna is just befitting his position, because in all the Vedic literature he is described as the complete independent. In the beginning of the Srimad Bhagavatam, the Lord is described as Swarat, which means completely independent. That is the position of the Supreme Absolute Truth. The Absolute Truth is not only sentient, but he's also completely independent. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. The Absolute Truth is not only sentient, but he is also completely independent. Yeah. Boy, if we could only bottle it, we could really make a fortune. We could just contain this Krishna, you know. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. As for Krishna's orders not being neglected by anyone, that's the other type of independent. His orders cannot be neglected. Uddhava tells Vidura, quote, Lord Krishna is the master of the three modes of material nature. He is the enjoyer of all opulences, and therefore there is no one equal to or greater than him. end quote. All the great kings and emperors used to come before him, offer their gifts, and pay obeisances with their helmets at the feet of the Lord. One devotee said, quote, "My dear Krishna, when you order Brahma, now you may create the universe. And when you order Lord Shiva, now you dissolve this material manifestation. You are in this way creating and dissolving the material creation yourself, simply by your orders and by your partial representation of Vishnu. You are maintaining the universe. In this way, O Krishna, O enemy of Kamsa, there are so many Brahmas and Shivas who are simply carrying out your orders." Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. That's an interesting line there where he says, all the great kings and emperors used to come before him, offer their gifts and pay obeisances with their helmets at the feet of the Lord. And that's a description of the appearance of Lord Jesus. The kings came and they offered gifts and they offered their obeisances at the feet of the Lord. So that's a Krishna thing. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. We three kings of Orient are. Da, 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 da. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. 51. Another quality of Krishna is he is changeless. Krishna. Krishna does not change his constitutional position, not even when he appears in this material world. Okay, Krishna does not change his constitutional position, not even when he appears in this material world. Ordinary living entities have their constitutional spiritual positions covered. They appear in different bodies. Under the different bodily concepts of life, they act. But Krishna does not change his body. He appears in his own body and is therefore not affected by the modes of material nature. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. The conditioned souls, appear in different bodies under the different bodily concepts of life. They act. But Krishna does not change his body. He appears in his own body and is therefore not affected by the modes of material nature. First canto of Bhagavatam, it is stated that the special prerogative of the Supreme Controller is that he is not at all affected by the modes of nature. The practical example of this is that devotees who are under the protection of the Lord are also not affected by material nature. To overcome the influence of material nature is very difficult, but the devotees or the saintly persons who are under the protection of the Lord are not affected. So, what need is there to speak of the Lord himself? To be more clear, although the Lord sometimes appears in this material world, he has nothing to do with the modes of material nature, and he acts with full independence in his transcendental position. This is the special quality of the Lord. Changeless. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. 52. All cognizant. Any person who can understand the feelings of all persons and incidents in all places at all times is called all cognizant. It's funny the way I say any person who can. How many people do we know of that can understand the feelings of all persons and incidents in all places at all times. The Prabhupada says, any person who... yeah, okay. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Any person who can... Hey, can you do that? Oh, well, okay. No, I can't do that. A nice example of the all-cognizant quality of the Lord is described in Bhagavatam, first canto, in connection with Durvasa Muni's visit to the house of the Pandavas in the forest. That Durvasa Muni was always cursing people. So many hard austerities that he had his hard heart. He had a hard heart. He was very powerful, but he was very hard-hearted, all his austerities. So he came there to cause a problem. Following a calculated plan, Duryodhana sent Durvasa Muni and his 10,000 disciples to be guests of the Pandavas in the forest. Duryodhana arranged for Durvasa and his men to reach the place of the Pandavas just when the Pandavas' lunchtime was ended, so that the Pandavas would be caught without sufficient means to feed such a large number of guests. 10,000. Yeah, they could have fed 10,000 people. They could have, because Draupadi had been given a special cooking vessel that could feed unlimitedly, unlimited food in this vessel, as long as she didn't take her meal. As soon as she took her meal, then it stopped. The pot would not supply any more food for that meal. So for this lunchtime, the Pandavas all took their lunch, and then Draupadi also took hers. And Duryodhana, the rascal, he arranged for Durvasa Muni to be there right when the pot was finished. And so how would they accommodate 10,000 disciples? If she hadn't taken her meal, they could have, because of this special cooking vessel, but she took her meal. When the Pandavas' lunchtime was ended, so that the Pandavas would be caught without sufficient means to feed the guests. Knowing Duryodhana's plan, Krishna came to the Pandavas and asked their wife Draupadi if there were any remnants of food which she could offer to him. Draupadi offered him the container, a special pot, in which there was only a little fragment of some vegetable, and Krishna at once ate it. At that moment, all of the sages accompanying Durvasa were taking bath in the river, and when Krishna felt satisfaction from eating Draupadi's offering, they also felt satisfaction, and their hunger was gone. Because Durvasa and his men were unable to eat anything more, they went away without coming into the house of the Pandavas. In this way, the Pandavas were saved from the wrath of Durvasa. Duryodhana had sent them because he knew that the Pandavas would not be able to receive such a large number, and thus Durvasa would become angry and the Pandavas would be cursed, because that's what Durvasa Muni does. But Krishna saved them from this calamity by his trick and by his all-cognizant quality. So that's the example of all-cognizant. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. There's a lot more going on in there than just all-cognizant, though. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Because the 10,000 disciples, they all felt satisfied when Krishna felt satisfied. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. 53. Another quality of Krishna, ever fresh. Ever fresh. Krishna is always remembered, and his name is always chanted by millions of devotees, but the devotees never become saturated. It's a quality of Krishna, never become saturated. Instead of becoming disinterested in thinking of Krishna and in chanting his holy name, the devotees get newer and newer impetus to continue the process. Therefore, Krishna is ever fresh. Not only Krishna himself, but also Krishna's knowledge is ever fresh. Bhagavad Gita, which was imparted 5,000 years ago, is still being read repeatedly by many, many men, and still new light is always being found in it. Therefore, Krishna and his name, fame, qualities, and everything in relationship with it is ever fresh. There's some examples here of ever fresh. All the queens of Dwarka were goddesses of fortune. It is said in Srimad Bhagavatam, 1st Canto, that the goddesses of fortune are very fickle and restless, so no one can consistently captivate them. Thus one's luck will always change, sometimes. Yet the goddesses of fortune could not leave Krishna for even a moment when they were residing with him in Dwarka. This means that Krishna's attraction is ever fresh. Even the goddesses of fortune cannot leave his company. The goddess of fortune is famous for being fickle and restless. Hare Krishna. Regarding Krishna's attractive features, being ever fresh, there is a statement by Radharani in Lalita Madhava in which Krishna is compared to the greatest sculptor because he is expert in chiseling at the chastity of women. In other words, although chaste women may follow rules and regulations of Vedic principles to become ever faithful to their husbands, Krishna is able to break their stone-like chastity with the chisel of his beauty. Most of the girlfriends of Krishna were married, but because Krishna was their dear friend before their marriages, they could not forget his attractive features, which were always fascinating to them, even after their marriages. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Krishna. Well, I guess that's it for Christmas. Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.